everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome back to Abstract Medicine. How are you doing? How are you doing? Really looking forward to doing this reading for all of you. As you can tell by the title already, it is going to be quite an interesting one. Just felt called to do this reading so that, you know, Spirit can help us all with our persona and our social platforms. So I have a lot of examples of sort of lists of things that I want to talk about on Abstract Medicine. As you can tell, like, the channel is going to be becoming more and more Gnostic, more and more in depth. So if you follow me on Abstract Medicine on Instagram and you've come here to YouTube, I feel like you've done the right thing, because, you know, Instagram can be very short, the short reels, and they're not as in depth, the readings. They're still true, but they're not as in depth. And here on YouTube, subscribe to the channel here on YouTube so you get notified. So YouTube will notify you when there's a new video from me. And we'll just go into more in-depth reading. So I have a lot of, and there's a bird, obviously a bird's turned up, great. Always, whenever I'm here at the tarot table, a bird turns up. There wasn't a bird here as I was setting up in my mini meditation, and now there is. And she's like, what are you doing? She's just poking her head around. Anyway, so we have a long list of things that I want to talk about here on Abstract Medicine, a list of things. But today we're going to be doing a reading about me reading your energies. Let me read your persona. Let me read your energies about your persona. The persona is the mask that you wear and that you show to other people. And your social media platform, because, you know, social media platforms, we have a persona, or persona, persona. We have a persona. I'm going to also look at the traits, and then I'm going to look at ways of how you can improve your persona, the mask that you share to the world. And then we're going to have a look at a muse, so a muse that you could be inspired by. So we're going to be using the Muse Tarot deck. Okay, this one here by Chris Ann. And we're going to be using this book here for further guidance for each pile by Emily Gosling, who's a industry contact of mine, and she interviewed me for about my art show like a couple of years ago. And she has this book called Great Minds Don't Think Alike. And in each page, each chapter, there's an inspiring artist in here. So I feel like that could be helpful for some of you at the end of each pile. So let's have a look what the main theme is for each pile, what your main persona is for each pile, using our trusted Gaia Tarot, Dreams of Gaia Tarot deck, which is this one here. And so, you know, I use this tarot deck is very sacred to me. I mean, they're all sacred, but this tarot deck in particular is very sacred to me. I use it shamanically. I also use it with plant medicine too, and it's a very sacred deck. I feel very connected with this deck, and I'm really glad that I'm sort of coming out of my comfort zone and using it more publicly. Okay, so let's have a look. 3 piles, please. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides, archangels, muses, those who are here in the physical world and those who are in the spiritual world, living their best life. I just heard in heaven. Okay, so that's pile 1. Okay, so your persona, pile 2. That bird is like, what's she doing? What's she doing? And this is pile 3. Okay. We're also going to be using the die as well. Okay, so we'll be using this too. I think I might just pull two or 1 die for each pile as well to help you out as well. So let's have a look for pile 1, please, Spirit. Pile 1. This one here. Pile 1. Another one for pile 1. This one here. Pile 2. 2. This one here. Pile 2. this one here. Pile 3 would be these two here. Okay, so for pile, okay, so pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. So for pile 1, we have this card here. This card here is pile 1, okay, for your selection. And we have the, what is it called? Water. Why do I can't even think. It's weird. When I start to channel, I lose the command of the English language or any language. I just don't know what words are because it's all energetic. A water fountain, decanter, whatever this thing is. There's this, and then there's the fire. Okay, so there's water and fire here, energy. Blue and pink could be significant. Pile 2, we have the eye here. Pile 2, we have the eye, and we have a lady with curly hair, with glasses on. Could be an older lady, a mature woman with glasses, or who wears glasses or sunglasses. So pink and green, or red and aquamarine, or turquoise aquamarine could be significant. Pile 2. Pile 3, we have this pile, this card here, this one here, and we have the baguette or bread, and we have the rocket. They have a bit of wax on them, but it's okay. They're in my box with candles in it. This is the rocket. Okay, so the bread and the rocket, yellow and blue, or yellow and turquoise could be significant for you, pile 3. So meditate over your pile. You know the drill by now. Otherwise, just listen to all piles or select your pile, and we'll start with pile 1, okay? All right. So let's move this out of the way. Okay, so pile 1. Pile 1. So first of all, we're going to start with the dice. So for pile 1, we have the water thing, water can. Is it a water can? And the fire. So there's something about, I just heard taming your temper, taming the beast. I'm picking up on heavy Leo energy, in particular, pile 1. And I also, picking up on Sagittarius energy. I'm picking up on LGBTQ plus as well. So you could be non-gender conforming, in quotes. There's also this energy of some of you have tempered your temper as well, or you come across as people online, or your persona is someone who's very tempered and balanced and patient. Okay, pile 1. We'll have a look more with these later if there's some other messages. Pile 1. You also are quite emotional people, but you also have a lot of gumption, a lot of fire in the belly. You have a lot of desire and passion. You're also very ambitious. You also like to put out fires. So if you're seeing arguments, you're the person that usually sort of distills the arguments. You like things to be fair. I'm also just hearing what's fair in love and war. So it's a quote from Shakespeare. You could be actors, you could work in film, you could work in TV, or you just love the entertainment industry in that sense. You may have a YouTube channel, pile 1. Pile 1's persona. Okay, let's see what else there is. Okay, color blue and pink. You definitely have like a healing voice. Pile 1 with the water emotions and the blue. I don't know if you can see that, but there it is. There you go. Emotions and blue, and the throat chakra coming through with the color here. And with the fire energy, there's this energy of, like, again, desire and passion and drive. So I feel with pink, you could also be living your life path, because it's something that you feel very connected to, because you love what you do, you love your passions, and you're working in an industry that you're really passionate about, pile 1. Okay, so we'll look at the Gaia Tarot. So we have the 7 of air, exactly. So we have speakers here, we have writers here, pile 1. We have you reading we have you being like, there's a lot of air energy here. Your persona is definitely, you have a social platform of some sort. You have a social online platform. There's also this energy of you're very good at balancing your time online and offline. So that's also a trait that I'm seeing here, or what you're putting across is people perceive you as people who are very knowledgeable, very, very intellectually stable, intellectually sane. I'm hearing the sanity here. There's an energy of sanity because of something that you may have experienced, because you may have had a blip of insanity. So what that means to me is as I'm channeling, is this vibe that you may have thought. So, you know, like, for example, Selena Gomez, the singer. Shout out to my Latinas. I love her. I think she's great. She did this documentary called My Mind and Me, and I feel like you may resonate with that documentary. You may resonate with her, where, you know, you feel like you want to just switch off from the online world, and you may have had some sort of like psychotic break or something, or you may have had bipolar or something like that, but you've been able to temper the chemistry in your mind, I'm hearing. So the chemicals in your mind. And so there's a balance here. You could be taking certain medication, of course, to do that too. But it's also important for you to... So I'm, you know, there's importance, sorry, because the messages come in quite quick and fast, you know, as a channel. I get lots and lots of messages at the same time, quantumly. So it can be quite difficult to decipher in this like delayed timeline here on the 4D plane on Earth. So I'm feeling that it's really important for you to have a sacred tribe, and you've really made sure to protect that and to attract that, and that's really sacred to you. So it's really important, and I feel like people see that of you. Your persona comes across as possibly a little bit intimidating and very, very private, very, very secretive indeed. So you're kind of at arm's reach from people. You only allow people to come in who you allow in, who you feel are on the kind of same vibrational level as you, or at a higher vibrational level, because you like to learn. You're people that love to study. You love to experience. You love knowledge, and you want to know more about the world. And sometimes knowledge can be a trap, I'm hearing. You could be very interested in occultism and Gnostic texts as well, or even, you know, like hidden texts or hidden knowledge, hidden sacred books from all religions, all types of spiritual modalities. Now, I just want to say that with religions here coming through, and this book, this sacred book, and this little spear or sword of truth here, your eye is awakened. So you are people that are very open to other people's ideas, philosophies, spiritual belief systems, and you understand the words and the gerundives, what's the word? The origins of words. The origins of words and their meaning. You understand semantics, you understand symbolism, you understand you have an interest in psychology, or there are people that see you like that, as someone who is interested in psychology, but you also understand that religion, the word religion actually means union, and the word yoga means union, and and you understand that there is no religion. There's only one universal union, which is God, Goddess, spiritual oneness. And I feel like people see you as someone who's very elevated in your spiritual understandings, or at least you're getting to that level of, to be honest, self-actualization. So they see you as a bit of a prophet too. They see you speaking words of truth, whether it's through music that you play, or that you are able to hear information in ways that other people can't hear. So you have a crossing of the senses, like a little bit like me, where I'm a synesthete, so I have synesthesia, where I can hear color. So people see you online or as your persona as someone who's very, very like knowledgeable. I'm also picking up on heavy Scorpio, so you could have Scorpio in your chart too. Your water sign could be Scorpio, your fire could be Leo, possibly. I just had Mercury, so you may have Mercury in either of those, Scorpio or Leo. Could be air energy here as well, with the strong air energy with this card. With the Seven of Swords, there's also this energy of you've been deceived, or you deceive people online, where you have a very good mask, and you don't, and it's not like with a malignant malintent, it's that you have this way of, again, okay, this is how much I'm going to show you, this is how much I'm going to share with you, and and that's where it's gonna stand here. I don't want to give any more of my energy, because you have this understanding about portals, or you have this understanding that whatever you put your focus into, you're giving off your energy, and so your energy is very sacred. Pile one. Pile one. The Seven of Swords typically would be about humiliation, betrayal, partial success. But I'm picking up on that the persona that you have now is on account of your South Node. So your last lifetime, you may have experienced a lot of persecution, pile one, because in your last lifetime you were a monk or some sort of religious entity or person or being, wherever it was, whether it was on planet Earth or another planet, Venus, Mars, the moon, I'm hearing the moon, too, where you may have been someone who people came to for knowledge, like a rabbi, or like a priest or a monk or a priestess, or a guru. So people would come to you for knowledge, but somehow you were deceived by the religious entity. So it's interesting, your past life is coming through here, which is interesting. The religious entity that you, let's say, quote unquote, worshipped. So I just heard sacrilege. So they kind of betrayed you. This religious cult or religious group even betrayed your belief systems by castigating you. So I'm picking up on people, say for example, I'm Italian, Colombian, okay, so I'm Latin, and in Italy there were a lot of Jews that had escaped persecution and went underground and hid their knowledge, their gnosis, their Gnosticism, and put it underground. So in terms of Kabbalah, in terms of magic, in terms of all of these beautiful spiritual gifts that we're given and shared from spirit, and passed down through generation, because there was persecution. And this also happened in Spain as well. And there was also this kind of move of the Moors, the North Africa, was the African Islamic, let's say, I don't want to say conquering, but it's in some way, depending on your perspective, an invasion into your country where you were living in, or where you presided, I'm hearing. And so you had to hide in order to survive, I'm hearing. And that is coming in through very, very strongly. So you could have a very strong water element in your South Node or your North Node, or a fire element in your South Node, which was your past life. So Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, or Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And so in this lifetime, you're learning that you're no longer going to hide from the light. You're going to only spit out the truths, I'm hearing. You're going to be singing them out. If you write lyrics, or if you're a music producer, or if you're a writer of film, TV, If you're an artist, like you're someone that your persona is very kind of offstandish, I'm hearing, and also you're people who people really admire because you have so much knowledge is what I'm hearing. Let's have a look at the pack of positivity here, just get some information for pile 1 with regard to their persona. Thank you. So we have the Queen of Swords. So exactly what I picked up on is this energy of hold your fire, I'm hearing, because you can't cut, you have to come to me correct. You also know that anything is possible. You know the limit, you know that there is unlimited potential in our galaxy, in our universe, I'm hearing, I'm channeling. I hope you can see this because it's quite dark from this angle from what I'm looking at. And I'm seeing that you are very faithful. You have a fascination towards religion and spirituality in particular, and also philosophy. You love to converse. You love to hold a conversation. You're definitely leaders, without a doubt. You also have a life path number 7, potentially. And 7, as you know, is incredibly spiritual indeed. Let me have a look at my notes here. I just want to have a look and see if I've written anything down. Oh no, it's in my other book. Darn it. But anyway, but yeah, number 7 is always a very, very spiritual energy. Number 7 is also the Chariot, as you know. The Chariot is typically Cancer, but in, let's say, sidereal or Kabbalah, the Chariot is symbolized by the sign of Pisces. And there's also this strong connection that you may have to Archangel Metatron, by the way. You also have your persona is someone who's a little bit alien, because I typify the Chariot with spacecraft technology. So I do see a hint of that in pile 3, so you could be resonating with pile 3 when it comes to your reading for pile 3 as well. But I see that people see you as someone who's a little bit alien, and again, like not part of this world, a little bit like an Elon Musk character. So you have this level of genius about you that people may have seen you, or you may have come across as a little bit mad, but you're actually like, no, I'm not mad, I'm a genius. But there's no ego. I mean, we all have an ego, but there's no real like pride in a negative way, or ego in that way. It's more that your ego is balanced. We have number 7 here, which I feel like in Kabbalistic numerology with regards to your name, you could be a number 7. So you have a look at that. And we have number 3, and we have the 3 of Wands here as well. I also see that you are very good at collaborating with people. Wait, collaborate, and listen. There's a lot of music in this pile. Keep fighting through as well. Keep fighting through. Anything is possible. The fearless ferret. So you could have the ferret and the dog as symbolisms here, or as your guides as well, pile 1. Wait 1 second. Okay. All right. I just wanted to check something. So pile 1, I see that you have a very feminine energy about you too. You're very in touch with your feminine side, and your persona is someone who is very knowledgeable and nurturing. But there's also this sword of truth here, and with the Queen of Swords, it's giving off a little bit of intimidation. Pile 3, which is fine, and I love a little bit of intimidation. You know, that's what people say about me sometimes, so it's okay. Take it as a compliment, to be honest. Take it as a compliment, pile 1. Okay, so let's have a look, pile 1, at your Muse tarot. So we're going to have a look now at your traits. Well, we've already looked at your traits, really, but we're going to have a look at ways to improve your social media platform or your persona. Ways to improve Pile One's persona or outlook. Your persona could be your outlook as well. So your outlook could be about studying more. Not to, also there's the energy, there's a small hint as well to not betray your mind. So that could be significant for some of you. Some of you may have doubted your intellectual capacities, because when you think about something you go really far and wide. I'm very strongly seeing Elon Musk here. So Elon Musk, if you're watching, great, hi. I did mention Mars as well, so I'm not surprised. But there's this energy of you have a strong understanding of other worlds. You have a very altruistic mentality. Your mind is very expansive as well, Pile One. Yeah, we have the Empress, no doubt. Yeah, look, we have the Empress and the world, cosmos. So exactly what I was picking up on, Pile One. You know, you have this very feminine energy about you. You have this strong connection with the cosmos. Your persona, it comes across as people who are incredibly divine. You're very looked at a high level. You're highly regarded. You're highly respected, Pile One. I'm also picking up on strong 33 energy. Again, it's that energy 3, the Empress, and 3 here, 3 of Wands. 3 and 3 is 33, and again, it's that self-actualization. It's that Christ consciousness energy, where you may have also had a savior complex. And so I feel like right now people see you as a master teacher or a mistress teacher, and you come across again as someone who's very knowledgeable, because you have so much knowledge. You've received so much activation in all of the lifetimes that you've incarnated in this world and other worlds in the cosmos, and you come across as people who just know it all. And people who are insecure and feel intimidated by your presence, Pile One, will say, oh, you know, he or she is just a know-it-all. But actually, you do know so much. And because whatever you touch, whatever you read, whatever you you're able to put your hands on, you're able to read the energies of that thing. You're able to read people's energies, people's vibes. Whatever book you read, you just receive the information like so rapidly and quickly. Again, chariot energy. And when you're experiencing this knowledge that you're imbibing, you're taking in, Pile One, you're activating your cosmic self, I'm hearing. I'm also seeing that you've really, Pile One, your social platform is of incredible nurturing, assurance as well. You could be working with women in particular, but you're very motherly. You've really come into your maternal self. You've really come into your wholeness with regard to your divine feminine in particular. Pile One. Again, we have this cloak energy here around your head. Pile One, your head in particular is very sacred to you. Pile One, you have beautiful hair or headdresses. You wear things around your head, or you're being encouraged to do this, Pile One, in order to protect your mind, your head. Your mind is the vessel of knowledge, I'm hearing. We also have a cloak here around your head here as well. So Pile One, yeah, you definitely have a social platform. You could be on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, God, I don't know what else, Snapchat. What else is on? What's the hottest thing right now? You could also be inventing or finding out ways to create a new application, a new app online that is more cosmically aligned, I'm hearing. More tempered, where there are more restrictions on people who put spam out there, or I just have to say pornography as well. There's a lot of rubbish. There's a lot of dross. You may use the word dross as well a lot, Pile One, and you also see certain platforms, or all platforms, again with good and bad in them, and with gold and dross in them, with knowledge. So you're able to decipher as well. You're very good at deciphering people's energies as well. Pile One, how people see you as well, your persona or your social platform is something that they really admire, something that you've really worked on, something you've really nurtured as well, something that you have a creative ability that people really admire, and they have an esteem. You have high self-esteem, and ti estimo, I'm hearing in Italian, so they really admire you, Pile 1. Your persona is also coming across as someone who's very world knowledgeable. You may speak other languages. I'm also picking up on heavy Lemuria Atlantean energy here, Pile 1. For those of you who are women, you have a cracking body, I'm hearing, Pile 1. People see you as someone who really nurtures your body as well, your mind, your soul. I'm also seeing that a lot of these people their faces are away from direct eye contact. So again, there's this withdrawn energy, Pile 1, about you, and that's how you come across. You come across again as very creative, as very spontaneous. You love to travel, Pile 1. You love to set fire. You love to provoke people into an intellectual argument. It's not an argument for its own sake. There's also this kind of, I wouldn't say holier than thou, but I have to say with the religious aspect here, there's this energy that people who haven't self-healed or who haven't self-actualized just yet, you actualize that in other people just by being yourself. And there's this energy here, Pile 1, that your persona is someone who has, again, a lot of gumption. You have a lot of strong energy, and you just like to provoke people into having certain conversations or debates as well, Pile 1. You do activate other people, and look, we also have the Hierophant, which I didn't even notice. Again, we have this energy of the priest, the priestess, the monk, the guru, the 33 energy of the prophet, I just heard the sooth seeker, the soothsayer. Although you don't mince your words and you don't lace your words with honey, you are very direct with what you say. And I'm also hearing and picking up on that a lot of texts, a lot of religious texts have been heavily edited, just like the social media platforms are today. They're very filtered, and they keep being filtered. So you have an understanding, Pile 1, that your social media platform and the religious texts or spiritual understandings have been heavily filtered over time, and that people have to unfilter these truths through your own or through their own mind clearances, I'm hearing, in order to really understand the truths and the truth of each thing. So religious texts and also social platforms. So you have this, you have an unfiltered mind, and therefore you have an unfiltered vocabulary and an unfiltered delivery of your truth and the truth that you seek to share in the world, Pile 1. Gorgeous. Your persona, again, is people who are very knowledgeable. People come to you, people seek your advice, but you can't give advice to someone who hasn't done the steps or made steps to improve their lives one way or another. You're definitely someone who's very well-rounded. You are very universal. You have universal understanding, universal teachings. So you can speak to people from all walks of life, all categories, all statuses. Yeah, again, whenever you put your hand into something, you're able to just speak to the person at their level. So there's this tempered energy. You're not condescending with your truths or the way that you say things or the way that you share your knowledge. You are not condescending at all, and that's what people also love about you, Pile 1. And how you can improve, again, is just by filtering and editing, continue to edit people out of your, so if that means that you need to block people on your social platform as well, then do that. I see a very colourful platform as well, Pile 1. I mean, I know we are using the Muse Tarot deck, but I feel that there's this colour about you. There's a lot of purple and purple green, and just basically a very balanced upper body and lower body. I'm also picking up on the Magician, so as above so below, as above so below in your body as well, your microcosmic body and the macrocosmos. You have this balance between your microcosmos and the macrocosmos. You have a very attuned alignment. Your staff is clear, as in your staff, your spinal, your spinal energy, your kundalini, your own kundalini activation is balanced. Your chakras, your portals, your sacred churches, each portal is aligned, each chapel is aligned, each chakra or wheel is aligned, however you wish to call it, is aligned. Some of you have also abstained from sex with another individual for quite some time, and this was because you have been called to do that. I also just heard the Eye of the Prophet, so you may have a strong inclination to read Khalil Gibran's is it The Way of the Prophet or The Prophet as well. A beautiful book. I have it. I love it. That's also a way to improve your social platform by reading this book. I feel like you're going to get a lot of information, and also to not be afraid of love as well. Recently or in the near future, your heart chakra is going to be highly activated, even more so, and yes, you're going to be, because you've been abstaining from sex, your number 9 portal, which is your sexual chakra here, is activated, and so you're no longer practicing, or you've relinquished black tantra and grey tantra into white tantra. So you are also people who are able to initiate tantra, where you alchemize the sacred waters, which is the orgasm, into the spinal, through to the crown chakra, and into the universe, and you give it up to God, goddess. So this is something you're going to be looking into as well. So very Gnostic, this pile. Let me see if there's anything else I'm picking up on. I mean, that's really kind of the main idea here. Okay, so let's have a look. Who's your muse? Okay, Manolo Blahnik, apparently. Manolo Blahnik built his vast shoe empire with no formal training. Instead, he went to art school, studying architecture and literature in Geneva and at the École des Beaux-Arts in Paris. He learned his craft from the factories, speaking with pattern designers and fabricators to better understand the process, and even trying on the shoes he made to ensure they were comfortable. Although he doesn't believe in a creative process as such, Blahnik works by creating an imaginary woman in his head and designing shoes for and around her. Indeed, he attributes much of his success to the women who inspired and encouraged him when he was starting out. Bianca Jagger, Paloma Picasso, and Marisa Berenson all were mad about what he was doing. Now, in his 70s, he still retains complete control of all aspects of his eponymous brand. Every shoe is personally designed by Blahnik, and he even hand carves the wooden forms they're produced from. He has never employed an assistant, and to this day doesn't have a team around him. This obsessive approach seems natural for Blahnik, serving his passions for perfection. I like to finish the product beautifully with the best materials, the perfect balance in a heel, and do the best I can. The control he exerts over his work is reflected in his private life. Blahnik claims to never have personal relationships, saying, "I don't fall in love with people, I fall in love with art." He rarely sleeps for longer than 5 hours each night, instead using that time to draw shoes. But for the designer, control and independence mean freedom. It's the only luxury I have. I choose what I want to do. Well, I know it seems a bit abstract and it seems a bit far off from the messages that I was channeling, but actually it's very true to the energies that I'm picking up on for you, Pile 1. I do see that you are self-made people. I don't feel like you necessarily received formal training with regard to your religious or spiritual practice or doctrine. I feel like you learnt by studying and by going to mentors or learning these things that you know through books. I also feel that there could be a personal connection with Geneva, Switzerland, or Paris, France. I feel that if you are creatives, you learnt this along your own path, your own way. I am picking up on, you know, people who have abstained from sex and personal romantic relationships as well, because you put that creative energy, because sexual energy is creative energy, charged into the cosmos, into spirit, and into what it is that you teach, learn, and that you put out on your platform. So your persona is of people that are very chaste, sacred, a bit standoffish, a little bit mad, possibly. You are heavily inspired by women in particular, and if that's not the case, you are part of the sisterhood tribe, and you are very much imbalanced with your creative process and your feminine energies in particular. I do feel like your muses are singers. You know, we have Bianca Jagger, who was the wife of Mick Jagger, Rolling Stones. We also have Paloma Picasso as well, who's the daughter of Picasso, Pablo. And Marissa Berenson, I believe, was a model. So we also have this quote here: "I don't fall in love with people, I fall in love with art." So there could also, I am picking up on a little bit of fear with regard to romantic relationships, and agnosticism in the sense of not wanting to fall in love because you're agnostic to romantic love. But actually I see that some of you are going to be falling in love. Okay, for some of you, Pile 1. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. It's really not what I expected at all, but I really hope that you found this reading helpful in one way or another. I did really enjoy reading for you. If you'd like to press the like button to let me know that you've enjoyed this reading, I'd really appreciate it. Also to spread this reading far and wide for those who feel like you want to share this video to other people who feel that they might need some help and advice. And I also am picking up on for you, Pile 1, that you have a balanced right brain and left brain as well, Pile 1. So thank you so much. Make sure to subscribe to Abstract Medicine 888. See you in the other pile or piles, or catch you in the next video. Thank you and bye for now. Okay, so that was 43 minutes. I'll be doing 43, 45, between 30 and 43 minutes for each pile. Good to know. Okay. Pile 2, welcome to your reading, Pile 2. I hope you're doing well. Let's have a look at your persona or your social media platform. So those of you who picked the eye, I just heard the eye of the tiger, Leo energy possibly, and we have the woman with curly hair, with sunglasses or eyeglasses, or in need of contact lenses, I'm hearing. You have a very penetrating gaze, pile 2. You have beautiful eyes. Some of you may have almond eyes or hooded eyes. Your persona comes across as people that really see through. You have a very penetrating gaze. You see through people's BS. You see through into their soul. Some people feel uncomfortable by that, so they may glaze their eye contact with you or find a way to not look at you because they find it really disturbing, because you have a very pure heart, pile 2, I'm feeling. Let's see what else. Let me also just light another incense for you, pile 2. You are also very protected, pile 2. I mean, all of you in abstract medicine are learning as well how to be more protected, to call in for more protection, I'm hearing. But you in particular, pile 2, have a lot of protection around you, whether you ask for it or whether you don't. I just heard you're part of the 4 angels, or you're part of the sacred realm, I'm hearing. So I'm picking up on heavy angel energy, earth angel energy in particular, pile 2. Red and green could be very significant to you, pile 2 as well. Or turquoise, curly hair, you may have a bob. We'll get into it and see if there's more, okay? Let's have a look at the Gaia Tarot with this. We have the 7 of Wands, beautiful energy. Okay, pile 2, I have my seductresses pile over here. Okay, very alluring, pile 2, you're very alluring. Moth to a flame here, with the moth animal insect here around the crown chakra. We have the serpent around the right arm, and we have 2 cats here and the lotus and water. Okay, 7 of Wands. Interesting, we have the 7 of air in pile 1. We have the 7 of fire in pile 2. Very fiery, very attractive, very magnetic, pile 2. Again, I mean, you know, I mentioned the eye here. The eye of Horus, the protective energy, the gaze, very penetrating gaze here. And look at her gaze. You just can't make it up. Look at her gaze. Absolutely hypnotic. I'm hearing hypnotic energy, hypnotic gaze. Pile 2. You could have fiery hair, flame, red hair, orange hair, yellow, auburn, blonde hair, brown hair, but with this kind of like maybe blonde highlights. Pile 2, I'm picking up on very sexual and sensual energy. Colors orange and yellow are very significant to you. These could be your favorite colors. I'm also picking up on crows here, if you can see them in the card. There are 2 crows, 1 crow here and 1 crow here, in the far distance in the background of this picture. So you have crow spirits as well, pile 2. And the serpent, pile 2. Let's see what else. The cat is also very symbolic for you, pile 2. We also have the serpent, which is very sexual. It's also the energy of knowledge, the energy of Kundalini, the energy of mastering your own sexual desires and not being submissive to them as well, pile 2. Okay, so again, your persona is, look, I'm picking up on people who are very beautiful. I just heard systemically. I know, pile 2, I'm picking up on your beauty is culturally speaking in line with the ideology. You're classically beautiful. You're beautiful in the eye of your beholder, your beholders. You have many admirers, pile 2. You come across as quite innocent. You have an innocent heart chakra because your hands are like over your heart, but you're also very magnetic. Your aura is incredibly expansive, pile 2. I don't know, you have an idea of it, but I don't know if you really understand or accept how magnetic your aura is and how many admirers you have. There are hidden admirers here, pile 2, as well, with the woman or the person who has a feminine energy potentially, or you have people who are admiring you who pretend that they are not looking at you with the sunglasses here, pile 2, but you kind of already know. You kind of have an idea of who these people are. But again, I feel like you're heavily protected. Your social platform, your social media platform is incredibly protected, pile 2, as well. You have 2 cats in spirit as well who are protecting you, but we're looking into your persona. So your persona, your social platform is I just keep hearing like inflame. You bring out a lot of desire in people. You may activate sexual energy in people where that wasn't the case, where people may not necessarily have. Okay, so I'm picking up on your persona is because you have this high attraction and admiration, you're very alluring and magnetic. People may have had an idea about what sex is or what sex could be, or they have fantasies about you as well, pile 2, I have to say, because I'm seeing that here. But I'm also seeing that, pile 2, you're people who activate true sexuality. You awaken sexual understanding in people, and that's confirmation because I just heard the micro spirit just talk to me, passing by. Pile 2, people perceive you as very fiery. You speak your own mind, pile 2. I'm also picking up on Art Deco as well because of the nature of these curls as well. Art Nouveau. So they see you as a muse. People see you as a muse that they may paint you. They may see you as a muse, pile 2. We haven't even looked at the Muse Tarot yet, but they see you as a muse, pile 2. You know, the serpent and the eye here are very hypnotic. People may be afraid that you may cast like spells on people, by the way. And this is actually not the case. Although you're very attractive, I'm picking up on Scorpio energy here as well as Leo. As well as possibly Aquarius, but I have to, and Sagittarius in particular as well, possibly Aries as well, possibly. I'm not picking up on strong Aries here, but Leo and Scorpio and Sagittarius in particular. So you have that in your chart. Pile 2, it's like people are really attracted to you, sexually speaking. You have a lot of admirers. You have people that fantasize about being with you, sleeping with you, pile 2. But you awaken something within them. You awaken sacred sensuality. There's a difference between sensuality and sexuality here. You attract admirers from all groups, so LGBT plus. And people fear your hypnotism. They fear that you attract them in and then they'll get trapped. But that's actually not the case. It's because you have gone through lifetimes of clearing and understanding your lower chakras, particularly your sacral chakra, your root chakra, and your sacral and your root chakra in particular are very healed and very activated, and you balance them very well, but you also activate them in other people just through your presence, pile 2. Okay. So you're actually not luring people in consciously. You're just magnetizing that and are a mirror of that in other people, particularly women. So for those of you who are women, your persona comes across as women who really admire you, but also a bit of jealousy as well, because you may bring about this jealousy in women because they fear that you will take their husbands away, or their partner away, or their wife away, or whatever the case may be. It's just you have an alluring energy about you. I'm also picking up on High Priestess energy here as well, because we have La Pitonessa, the Pythoness, the one who is the High Priestess, the one who is the Sacerdotessa, the one who is the one with secret knowledge. A lot of you inspire, okay, this is going to trigger some people, but this is who you are, or how you come across, your persona, the mask that you give out to the world without you even knowing. Your sun sign is this energy. So you come across as people who other people want to secretly have a relationship with. Whether they are in a relationship or not, they want to secretly bed you, I'm hearing. I'm also hearing bedfellows as well. You bring about a lot of fantasies in people. If you have a lot of people, I just keep repeating the same thing over and over again because the messages are coming in very strongly. That pile 2, you have a lot of people that have fantasies about you, almost to a point that you have no idea the amount of people. So say, for example, you have over 10,000, 20,000 followers. The majority of those followers are fantasizing about you in a sexual way. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I'm picking up on my creatives here. I'm picking up on models here. I'm picking up on influencers here. I'm picking up on people here that use... So you were able to use your magnetism, your persona. You're able to use your magnetism, your beauty, your handsomeness, your attractiveness, your attraction, and monetize on that. So you may be makeup artists, you may be models, you may be influencers. Your presence is very High Priestess, Empress energy. And you are attracting devil energy, you are attracting tower energy, you're attracting the sun energy, you're attracting judgment energy, you're attracting the lover's energy, you're attracting the emperor energy, you're attracting the fool energy, you're attracting the majority of the major arcana. But you're attracting the moon energy. Like, people are really wanting to know what's behind the veil. They want to know what you look like naked. They want to know what you wear, how you sleep. They want to know all the intricate secrets about your life because you're so attractive. Now, I'm also picking up on the star energy here. Now, the star energy is a celebrity energy. So people are obsessed with you. I have to say, people are obsessed with you. They obsess about you. Women want to be you, want to be like you. Men want to sleep with you, okay? And take that as it resonates for either or all genders. Picking up on very strong feminine energy here, in particular, pile 2. Wow. Okay. Wow. I mean, very alluring energy here. Pile 2, you are also interested in Lilith. I'm picking up on strong Lilith energy as well. Your Lilith may be in, well, any sign. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. But your Lilith is... You may also work with Lilith. So your advice from Spirit... I haven't even gone into the book or the other cards yet. But your advice from Spirit is to look at Lilith as a goddess, as a guide. Okay, Lilith, Aphrodite. So Aphrodite... Lilith as well. I'm also hearing Amphora. amphora. So an amphora is a sacred vase where you would put sacred teachings and scrolls, writings in there. And I feel like your advice from spirit is to have these things. So writing things and putting them in sacred vases or even jars. If you want to call things in, because you have a very magnetic presence energy, Pile 2, you're able to attract and manifest whatever you wish to bring in. And Pile 2, you come across as people that just have a very easy life because you get what you want. And I don't feel like that's necessarily the case, Pile 2. I feel like you've worked really hard on yourself. And I feel that as you're continuing to work hard on yourself, Pile 2, and I feel like people are a little bit scared. People are scared of you, Pile 2, like fire. People are scared of you because they don't know how much more you're going to be vibrating higher and magnetizing more vastly and largely. They don't know how limitless you can expand your energy. So this is empire energy, empress, the emperor energy. I'm picking up on Pile 2 that you're going to be attracting, if you haven't met your match, you are going to be attracting your match. The match is fire, and we have a sacred flame here, Pile 2. I mean, there's no no in this. No doubt, Pile 2. Page of Wands, no doubt the band is also significant to you too. I mean, with an energy like this, there has to be a match. There's just, setting the world on fire. Page of Wands, we have the salamander. This is so cool. We have the salamander of self-worth, which is Queen of Wands energy. So again, the Queen of Wands energy is like fire, attraction, sexuality, very magnetic. Everyone wants to be like her. Everyone wants to Miss Popular, the Mrs. Popular, the person who, the cool kid, like, just really fun. Everyone wants to dress her. Like, you could be getting a lot of campaigns of people who want to dress you, wear your clothes, showcase their products online, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever that may be. Doesn't matter what social platform, but I'm seeing people want to endorse their products on you because you have such a magnetic presence. Pile 2, the advice is, again, I haven't even gotten to the Muse Tarot yet, but the advice is to be confident in your sexuality and sensuality. You are not a sin. You are not sinful. Lilith energy, again, is coming through saying that, she was very misconstrued. And Lilith is the energy of high and strong independence as well. And she doesn't believe in patriarchy. She believes in the sacred feminine having ownership over their sexuality and their sex. So Pile 2, your persona exerts this energy, exudes. I wouldn't say exert because I feel like you have an effortless and effervescent energy. You don't strive, you don't strive to be anything other than yourself. And that's what's so attractive about you and so magnetic, Pile 2. And you just have this very alluring energy with the lily here and Lilith as well. The lily is this blooming energy here, that's blooming. So as you age, you bloom. So you look younger than your years as well, and you just keep blooming and blooming and blooming until you come into the sacred feminine that you've always been. But to be honest, I feel like you are already embodying your higher self, Pile 2. And your persona is coming across as someone who's very stable, aligned, very in charge of their sacred sexuality, very in charge and commanding without necessarily pushing that energy. So beautiful energy. You're very in tune with your divine feminine, Pile 2. You've put a lot of work, I can see and feel that you put a lot of work into that, and other people can see and feel that too, and people are inspired by that, but some people want to just copy you. I'm also picking up on people who really copy you, creatively speaking. They admire you, but they end up copying you, and that's kind of an energy of flattery as well, isn't it? But you're just out here being yourself here, Pile 2. Okay, so love who you are right now. I feel like pole 2, you are loving who you are right now. I feel like you've taken some time to really understand what that means. You've been looking in the mirror, you've been looking in the water, you've been looking in the black mirror as well for help, scrying. I am picking up on magic here, priestesses again, as I mentioned before. And you have been working on your self-worth. Maybe you saw yourself in the eye of the other, and now you're seeing yourself in the eye of your soul, of spirit. And so you're recognizing that actually all of your so-called flaws, I'm also seeing love handles. So your love handles are also just like, wow, like you're so comfortable with your love handles now. Maybe you weren't before and now you are. Maybe if you had big boobs, if you have big boobs and you weren't comfortable with them, now you are, you know. And you may have also been sexualized at a very young age, pole 2, and I hate that feeling for you, because that feels very uncomfortable in my own body as I'm channeling and picking up on your energies, pole 2. It's some people who have a dark aspect and a dark tantric, black tantric or black magic persona. They project their dark intentions towards you, and actually this is what happens with a moth to a flame, really. And so you may have been sexualized at a very young age, and that's got nothing to do with you. It's got more to do with the other projection. So you've healed a lot of you may have also healed childhood trauma. You may have healed a lot of trauma in your teen years too, and you're now loving who you are, and now you're understanding, you know, the balance between your higher self, your body, and your spiritual self. Now, I also have to say there is an alchemy here that has taken place or is going to be taking place, which is a sacred triangle, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, which is the energy of alchemy, number 3. Okay, so I am seeing here that pole 2, there's this energy of there's this energy of balance between your higher mind, your body, and your soul. And, you know, we have 3 eyes here as well. We've got 2 eyes here and the 1 eye there. So pole 2, I see that there is definitely a balance that's taking place with the Osiris, the Isis, and the Horus. Amazing. So Osiris was the partner and sacred cohort to, or consort to, Isis. So Isis is a goddess. So by the way, the goddess Isis is going to be a goddess that's going to be coming in for you to help you out more so. I mentioned also, Spirit mentioned Horus. No. Your goddess pile. You mainly have goddesses that want to work with you. Kuan Yin, and with the lily, Kuan Yin. Isis. Going to the Isis's temple. Okay, so there's a trip that's going to be taking place here for you soon, pole 2. So there's a nice hint there for you. How can you improve your persona, and how you can improve how you give your energy out, or how you present yourself to the world in person or on social media, is to visit the temple of Osiris, I'm hearing. I'm also hearing Oshun. For some of you, Oshun, so the goddess of water, I believe, in Africa, the African goddess of water, Oshun. I believe that's Oshun. She's saying yes. So she's also someone who is a goddess that you could be working with soon. There's a trip coming up for you with regard to that sacred pilgrimage, I'm hearing. But yeah, just going back to the triangle. Wow, hi Crow. Crow just passed by really closely to the house. there is a sacred partnership coming through where your partner is going to be embodying Osiris and you are embodying Isis. Wow. And your child will be Horus. Wow. Okay, that's amazing, pile 2. Oh my goodness, amazing. So we do have a page here, and we do have a child essentially here, which is interesting. So as you love who you are, you attract another individual who loves who they are, and they are in their king state now, you are in your queen state. I am picking up on sacred feminine, divine feminine, and they are in their divine masculine, or they will be when you meet again in this life, or when you meet again if you've been in separation. If you are in a relationship with them already, this is confirmation that you are in a twin flame, high vibrational connection, soulmate connection, either way. And you will be having a child who will embody both of your energies, but also will be carrying sacred knowledge, teachings, and the energy that needs to come through for the world, I'm hearing. I'm blown away by this reading, and pile 1s as well, but amazing. Okay, so pile 2, pile 2's social media platform. Beetroot to yourself. The beetroot of integrity. We have a guitar and we have the Page of Swords. Okay, so I do feel like some of you are also going to be getting pregnant soon. Again, there's this energy of people that are wanting to bed you, so I'm not surprised. People want to impregnate you. You're pregnant with creative ideas, and people see you as that, and they see you as very creative, musical. They see you as really intelligent and smart as well. You speak words of truth and wisdom, and I also see that you have multi-talents. I also see that you could be having 2 children, like twins even. Pile 2, I want to get one more for pile 2, please, Spirit. Okay, or 2. We have the 3 of Wands, which came out in pile 1. So interesting, pile 1 may be a match to pile 2 possibly, but we don't know. But we have the keep fighting through. 3 of Wands, a fearless ferret. People see you as someone who is very assertive, pile 2. They see you as very assertive. They see you as someone who's a fighter, that you're not going to stand and just take punches. I don't even see you rolling with the punches. I feel like you just don't even entertain it. Pile 3, you let fires burn when they need to. Very, very assertive energy, very goddess energy here, pile 2. People don't even, if people even try to start a fight with you, or if they have in your past, they see that you weren't going to tolerate it, pile 2. That's your persona, or at least the persona you give out to the world, pile 2. I see you being very celebrated here with the 3 of Wands. You come across as celebrities, as influencers, as people who don't necessarily follow trends. You are trend setters, you are leaders in your creative industry. You have many admirers. People admire you a lot online, and they may not necessarily follow you. So it's deceiving, because looks could be deceiving online. Even if you have a filter or use filters online, people actually still see you as that beautiful, or that handsome. So there's not even... So pile 2, I'm seeing that you use filters on your social platforms as a way to protect yourself. So there's an extra layer of protection, which is really interesting. But I also see that where other people use filters to make themselves beautiful and beautify themselves, in real life, you are actually just that beautiful. You are so goddess-like and handsome and magnetic and attractive, and people want to celebrate you. I'm also hearing Fat Boy Slim. I want to praise you like I should. And I'm also seeing that people see you as very fearless, very fiery, and very true to yourself, that you're not trying to be like other people. You're not pretending to be anything other than yourself. You just are yourself, and people find that really admirable. And we have Purty time. We have 2 cats again, which is interesting. We have 2 cats here and we have 2 cats here. So I feel that cats are going to be incredibly important to you when you go and visit the sacred temple of Isis. Now, Isis is also coming through saying that you can do that through your scrying, your meditation as well. You don't necessarily have to physically travel to visit her temple, but there are cats here, or at least like 2 big cats. I'm seeing 2 big cats in columns. This could also be you as the high priestess coming into your trusting your own inner voice and trusting that by you calling Isis and Aphrodite as well as Oshun as well, I'm hearing you already enter immediately the sacred space that they reside in, the dimension that they reside in. Beautiful. 4 of swords energy here. So some of you could also be licking your wounds after a separation, a breakup here with the 4 of swords. The 4 of swords is healing after heartbreak, meditation, taking some time out from the world, to be honest, needing to rest and contemplate and recuperate. I'm also picking up on 4 of Wands energy, and I feel like you could be getting married soon for those of you who believe in that and believe in marriage and believe in a higher love, a true love connection. I feel like there is going to be an ascension in your connection either way. You are in separation, you're with your person already, there's going to be an elevation in your connection. So that's beautiful. Your persona. Okay, so we're going to have a look at your muse as well. Everything is on course as well. That's just a side note from Spirit. Everything is on course. Everything is happening at the right time and divine time. Everything is going steadily for you, by the way. If you've been a little bit worried about how things have been going, everything is progressing at the right time. Pile 2. So ways to improve your persona and your muse, we're using the Muse Tarot, is... Okay, so we have all of these cards. Wow. There's been some doubts. Okay, so pile 2. You've had a few doubts about your attraction. You have a very unique beauty, by the way. I have to keep saying beauty because beauty is also equated to love and success. And this is Aphrodite who is being channeled here right now as I'm speaking. So love and beauty is combined with success. And it doesn't matter how many timelines, how many incarnations we experience, it happens in society. I'm also seeing 2 aces here, the Ace of Voices and the Ace of Inspiration, which marries really well with these 2 colours. The Ace of Voices, which is the green colour, the blue-green here with the heart and the throat chakra being open and clear. And we have the Wands energy here with the fire and inspiration. So we have you being balanced. I almost want to move this here like that. With these 2 cards here, I feel like you're really balanced with your communications and your talents and your clearance. Your clearance is of people who have tried to copy you, who've tried to befriend you, that had false intentions here with the cats. You know, cats can come in as with false intentions, with enemy energy as well, in the dark energy. But we also have this purging and this clearance of that, and then we also have this inspiration. I'm also picking up on Nepal, and I'm also picking up on Texas for some reason, as well as North American indigenous tribes here. Can you see here this sort of Navajo Diné symbolism here? And then we have the peace flags here with Nepal, the Nepalese flags, and the Owl of Wisdom. Diana is coming in very strongly here. For some of you, even Princess Diana, so shout out to Princess Diana, but also Diana, the goddess of wisdom and war. So again, we have this energy of, yes, I have the wisdom of sacred sexuality and sensuality, but I can also cut up a bitch if I need to. I'm also picking up on how you can improve your social platform, your persona, is to continue cleansing, purging, drinking water from sacred sites, purifying your water some way or another, reusing charcoal, as well as sacred baths as well. You can also do color baths, color bathing as well. For some of you, you may practice the words come, it's just you may practice a spiritual modality or spiritual way that some people may believe it's devilish or really like black magic, but it's actually not. It's how you do it. It's how you do it, and how you do one thing is how you do everything, as always. But you can experience the shadow in all religions depending on your perspective, your perception, and your intention. I'm picking up on Jesus as well. Jesus is always very close to me in my heart, and Yeshua is the divine masculine energy who, with a balanced trinity, as well as the balanced masculine energy. So I'm seeing that he's saying that for the divine feminines here, your divine masculine is also working on their karma, I'm hearing, and balancing out their teachings. My hands are really hot right now. I'm just holding my hands like that and they're on fire right now. So pile 2, your hands are very magnetic as well. You have a very warm presence as well, by the way, about you. And the traits that I'm seeing is that, but also your creativity comes from your hands in particular, and your inspiration from spirit. Some of you are also thinking about changing your hair color as well, which is great. You have very unique abilities. Pile 2, my hands are on, like, oh, they're sweating. I don't get sweaty hands, by the way, usually. But as I'm channeling and picking up on your energies, pile 2, I'm also feeling that, yeah, you're ready. You're ready for an important initiation that will come to you when it needs to. Pile 2, which I won't mention here because it's going to be very different for each individual. Okay, so it involves using the energy of fire and the energy of water. Okay, pile 2. There could be a necessary trip to the Himalayas in Nepal in particular, as well as North America. Peyote is also a plant medicine that you will be initiated into, for those of you who have not done the sacred ceremony. Personally, I have a very strong connection with North American tribes, but also my lineage is South American, indigenous tribe. My grandmother, my mom's side was pure native. So you could have that as well in your lineage, or something you could be discovering. Pile 2. Who you really are in terms of First Nations. And I see you having more of a connection with First Nations. Now, I also see that your online presence, your social platform, is going to be is going to be attracting more First Nations people and peoples and groups, but also there's a relinquishment of the ego here, and more about inspiration, and your inspiration of higher minds, from the mountains, from the hills, from the Himalayas, I'm hearing, from sacred portals like pyramids, like the Himalayas. So you're going to be inspired by that, and also you're going to be inspired by being more your First Nations self. So you could be wearing clothes or items or headdresses or doing certain rituals that you could be performing online or showing online or showcase online, which is more in tune to who you really are. Because remember, we also have love who you are right now and be true to yourself. And also I would say keep fighting through, fight for what you believe in and your online presence. Your muse are those muses, Isis, Diana, Isis, Diana, and Aphrodite as well, are about fighting for women in particular, and fighting for women's rights, and fighting for First Nations and their rights as well. And I see that if you are creatives, I feel like you are very creative, you will be showing that you are that. So say, for example, you could be wearing more feathers in your hair, you could be showcasing more feathers in your hair, you could be wearing braids in your hair in line with your own lineage, you could be wearing like sacred tatau, or putting more, beautifying your body with tatau, because that's in line with your sacred lineage. And I don't see you necessarily culturally appropriating. I feel like you are going to be culturally in line more so. And I feel like you may have been a little bit insecure about that maybe in the past, but now I see that you will not be so insecure about your looks. And also standing out in a crowd, you're not going to be as afraid of standing out in the crowd, because to be honest, people are always going to project their own disgustingness onto you, and perversions and evil and darkness onto you, but that's just who they are, because they're not healed and they have perversions, they have perverse and negative low vibrational energies, and that's just who they are. But you have this moth to a flame energy, so you're going to be, because you're so admired and so celebrated, you attract a lot of admirers, and they want to just project whatever, good, bad or ugly, onto you, and they want to take from you. But you are very protective and very protected. You're very protected, Pile 2. So I don't see you really being hurt by these people. I'm actually seeing this glass globe around you where there are arrows that are just going ba-doom, ba-doom. So they're kind of hitting the golden globe. Wow. Some of you may have received a golden globe recently, so congratulations and well done for that. But also I'm seeing high achievers, high awards, high accolades as well coming your way, Pole 2. I see people seeing you as a high achiever and receiving high accolades, but I'm also seeing these arrows that are just like projected onto you, and then they just bounce back into the person who had projected that. So I'm also seeing Jesus, who said, when you have someone who points at you, the three fingers that point back at the person who pointed at you. So those who had said nasty things to you, that karma is coming back to them threefold. I'm hearing, wow, wonderful energies. 3 of emotions, the 3 of water. As I said, you are really heavily admired, Pile 2, and people may have definitely fantasies about you, and they see that they may have put you in a third party situation. So they may have been married with someone or in a relationship with someone, and they may have put you in a relationship with them that was of a secretive nature, that was in secret. And you may have found that out after, and you may have separated from that person in the past, or recently are in separation, and you've been going through your feelings about it. A lot of feelings, a lot of tears, a lot of woes, a lot of anxiety, a lot of, there's definitely been a breakup here. And I feel like you've been thinking about your worth and your self-worth. And I see that, your hint from the universe and your ways to improve your self-worth, but also your persona is to learn from that experience. And I feel like you are actually healed, to be honest now. Yeah, I do see that. Pile 2. You have alchemized your emotional pain and your sorrow and your heartbreak into creativity, into a creative talent and a creative project, a creative skill set. And people really admire that out of you, by the way, pole 2. I'm also seeing Phoenix rising energy here. I see that you've gone through some difficulties and you've alchemized your pain into growth. And again, it's like people are scared because there's no way that, like, how many ways to was it defar a cat? But I'm seeing that cats have 9 lives, but you have like multiple lives. So there is no way that people can, even if they're kicking you while you're down, metaphorically, or even in your past, you may have experienced bullying or abuse of some sort. You've still risen and you've alchemized that pain into this, into beauty, into attraction, into high admiration, into pure light. And people find that really magnificent, I'm hearing, and admirable, and it's very difficult. People aren't always ready or worthy to do the work, I'm hearing. With the 7 of emotions, I see that you've made important choices, and people also see you as, maybe before you were undecided about things and now you're really decided. So with the 7 of fire and the 7 of water here, I see that maybe in your past you were undecided about things. You were like, I'm not sure if I should do this, I should do that. And now I feel like you're really on your right path, and people admire that. You may have had multiple career paths, multiple redirections in your career, in your life, and you still shine bright. You still stand. I'm hearing I'm Still Standing by Elton John as well. I'm also seeing pile 2 that you have a lot of people, again, that fantasize over you. Here with the 7 of Cups energy, they have illusions. They have illusions about you, about how you project yourself online. They have illusions about you because they may not necessarily actually know who you are deep down. And again, like pile 1, you've learnt the art of detachment. You've learnt the art of sacred space. So not everyone can be around you. You also have, again, this Trinity energy here. I'm picking up on Trinity from the Matrix. So I am picking up on you resonating with that character very much. And you may have already recognized your divine masculine within another person before they necessarily recognized it. And so now you're kind of in the space of working on yourself, on your achievements, your high accolades, you receiving a Golden Globe, you being admired, your creative projects, you're focusing on that and just being a better person for yourself and in leadership for women and all women. And I feel like the divine masculine is coming soon. If you like a private reading on that, you can book a private reading with regard to your love relationships. Now, as I'm speaking now, I'm seeing 2 turtle doves, and they are close to each other. They were close to each other. They were sitting on the antenna, and one of them flew off and then flew back, but the other one is not on the antenna. It's actually below on the chimney, and the other one is above. So I feel like the divine masculine has run away, has come back or tried to come back in one way or another, but is on a lower pedestal. And I feel like they're going to be working their way up to meet you at your level, pile 2. Okay. With the Ace of Inspiration, I do see you are an inspiration, a muse to so many. Let's have a look at Emily Gosling's Great Minds Don't Think Alike. Let's see which muse is calling you. Okay, Manola Blahnik came out in pile 1, so let's have a look. They're telling me to look at these numbers 3 and 4 and adding 4, 5, 6, 7. Interesting. Let's have a look at 7, page 7. Page 7, there isn't a 7, so where do I go? 34. Okay, 34. Okay, so 34 is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. 34 is here and 35. So we have musicians here, creatives indeed. I also want to say that Mozart had synesthesia as well. So there's a myth that Mozart had the ability to find himself with a complete original composition in his mind, seemingly out of nothing. It's a tale propagated both by Mozart himself and those who've written books or made films about him since. Thoughts crowd into my mind as easily as you could wish. Those who please me, I keep in my mind and hum them, Mozart claimed. According to the composer, these initial ideas were then felicitously joined by another melody, linking itself to the first one. And so on for the parts of various instruments and sonic counterparts that would make up the entire piece. However, this wasn't the whole story. Rather than being a passive recipient of melodies, Mozart was constantly thinking about experimenting with and studying music. When creating compositions, he first tried out his ideas on a piano before writing the outlines of the basic first fragments of a piece. Later, aspects such as the melody and bass lines would be added, sometimes leaving space for harmonies and other additions that would be filled in at another time. While Mozart allowed for some freedom in his collection and collation of the various compositional elements, he was also meticulous. He would jot down his initial ideas before working out the most important parts of each piece and finally putting the entire composition into writing. The composer's creation were gradually improved over time, working to a far more strict routine than he admitted. One doesn't believe the gossip at all, according to which he, Mozart, tossed off his significant works swiftly and hurriedly. Biographer George Nicholas Nissen claimed. Now, I see you being really clairvoyant and really clairaudient, pile 2 as well. So your muse is Mozart. When you create, listen to Mozart, I'm hearing. When you are pregnant, listen to Mozart, I'm hearing. I'm also seeing that when you are in touch with, when you are in alignment with, when you are in physical union with, when you are in sexual union with your divine counterpart, there are sonic waves that exude out of both of you as the divine tantra, as the divine tantra is activated with the kundalini of both of you. Healed masculine and feminine dualities come together. There is a sonic energy and sound that exudes. You listen, you hear music when others people may not as well, pile 2. And I'm also seeing that there is gossip around you and about you, but there's a need to, again, not feed into the gossip, pile 2. People that, let people talk is what I'm seeing and hearing here, pile 2. So let people talk, because that's what happens, again, with a moth to a flame energy, pile 2. When people really admire you and respect you and want to be you and want to copy you, there's always going to be a moth to a flame energy and there's going to be gossip. So just avoid the gossip. Just don't let people talk, let people think what they think, and maybe play some piano or some Mozart as well, part 2. I hope you've enjoyed this reading, part 2. It's been a pleasure reading for you. If you don't resonate with it and you've come this far, then it's interesting why. But have a look at pile 1 or pile 3. If you like a private reading, you know where to find me, and please do press the like button if it has resonated. Share this music, share your music, share your creativity far and wide, as well as this video. Thank you so much. God bless. Take care. Bye for now. Okay. Interesting. Okay, pile 3. Welcome to your reading, pile 3. We have the baguette or bread, and we have the rocket. Okay, we have rocket ship. We have alien technology. We have AI for some of you. We have bread, breaking bread. You're very caring and warm people. You love to feed and food. Picking up on Taurus energy and picking up also on AI. Some of you may be inventing AI technology or interested in AI technology. You're very expansive in your thinking, pile 3. You're also very warm and kind-hearted, and you love to be around people. You get energized with people around you, basically. Yellow energy and blue energy here. You have a lot of joy in your heart. You love luxury items and gifts and feeling comfortable. You love to make other people feel comfortable, and that's a persona that you let off, that you give to the world, pile 3. And what else? You have a very saucy and funny and fun sense of humor. You have a lot of fun about you, pile 3. I'm also hearing, do you like pina colada? I'm hearing that song. And what else? Yeah, I'm also picking up on The Killers, the song Drive Faster, Boy, Drive Faster. Yeah, I'm hearing that. So you may attend concerts and you like concerts and you love to drive. You love fast cars, pile 3. Interesting. Wow, so we have the 5 of Earth here, the 5 of Pentacles. Bit of a trickster energy, but that's okay. Let me just see if it's rolling. Yeah. So 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Earth. Wolf in sheep's clothing, I'm hearing. Very tempting to look at, very tempting to be with. You could be a bit of a heartbreaker as well, pile 3. You may also be people that like egg people on, like to go and do something that maybe they don't want to do just for laughs and jokes and giggles. Pile 3. Bit of a fool energy here as well, a jester. You love to play like Russian roulette, so the energy of like betting. I don't know why I'm hearing betting and abating, but maybe this is something you used to do. Pile 3, I feel that your persona is fun. Difficult to read this card without thinking about the devil, but let's have a look at this card from this book. I think it might just be easier to read from the book, okay? 242. I'm hearing T for 2 and 2 for T. Me for you and you for me. Na, 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 na. Weird. Okay, that is not the thing. Okay, so people basically see you as, also we have 166 here. See you as very tempting to be around, but may have bad intentions. So a bit of a trickster energy, I have to say. I'm not picking up on bad. I'm just picking up on trickster energy. So okay, so someone is not as they seem. Someone lies and deceives, and that someone could be you. So you actually, pile 3 is what I'm picking up on, is you may actually have an account that online that people don't actually know that it's you. I'm seeing you spying a little bit, pile 3. Am I picking up on the spies? I'm picking up on someone who has multiple fake accounts. You may also be interested in just getting involved online and just reading the tea, reading or getting involved in I don't want to say online bullying, because that's not what I'm seeing. I'm just seeing people who just love to have conversations with other people anonymously. I'm hearing anonymously, and just kind of jibe at people possibly, but I don't think it's bad. I think it's just for jokes. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing anonymous social media accounts here, pile 3. You may have lied a lot as a child, in your youth, pile 3. And I feel like this is something you're learning, that you can actually be secretive. You can actually be secretive by not lying. You can also withhold some of your truths, but still be authentic and still be you. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's what your persona is coming across as, at least to me, and that's how I'm reading it. Could it be that you are lying to yourself and those around you? It might not be a deliberate deception, but it's a deception nonetheless. The 5 of Earth can also symbolize the devil inside. I'm also hearing in excess, the devil inside, the devil inside, everyone has a devil inside, something like that. So every part of us has a devil inside. I don't know exactly the lyrics, but I'm hearing in excess. In excess, which is in excess. So you may have partaken in activities, whatever they may be. You can use your own imagination. I'm not going to list them for you, but you may have partaken in exhibitions. You may be an exhibitionist as well, or may have been, but in addictions, in things that were in excess, and now you're learning possibly to balance things out. Now, people may see you as people who are a bit extreme. You may be, again, fast drivers. You love adrenaline, pole 3. You come across as people that love a joke, love a drink, love fun, love to party. And I don't know whether all people want to be doing that on a consistent basis, particularly with you. So they see you as a little bit of a wayward individual, possibly, or people that may potentially take them on the wrong route or the wrong path. It's fun for a bit, but then after a while, you need to get serious. So people might be a little bit wary about hanging out with you, pile 3. I have to say, that's what I'm seeing here, or they may have in the past. I'm also seeing and picking up on the character Falstaff in Shakespeare's Henry IV, part 1 and part 2, where Falstaff is this kind of jovial older character who goes to the pub, who falls in and out of pubs, and Henry, or Prince Henry, otherwise known as Hal, as his commoner name, let's say, is kind of enjoying this life, is enjoying this life of fun, but then needs to get serious and then, take responsibility and then actually become a prince. I'm also picking up on the film My Private Idaho, which was also based on that story by Shakespeare. So I'm picking up on Keanu Reeves and River Phoenix as well. So River Phoenix actually did die of an overdose, which was interesting, at the Roxy. I think it was at the Roxy. And there's something about the Roxy nightclub as well in LA. They say there's a myth that they say it's actually cursed, particularly down in the basement, where there was a lot of gambling. I don't know if there still is gambling, but what's his name? Johnny Depp is no longer the owner of that nightclub, but Keanu Reeves used to hang out there. River Phoenix, Johnny Depp, obviously, a lot of pop stars. A lot of film stars, rather, would hang out there. And I feel like that's kind of your energy. You're very attractive, very alluring, very fun. I'm also picking up on the Bloomsbury set, or the Primrose Hill set in London. So back in the late 90s and early 2000s, there was Jude Law, Kate Moss, Sadie, whatever her name is, I've forgotten her surname. Is it Sadie Smith? No, Sadie Smith's the writer. Sadie, Jude Law's wife at the time. What's her name? I've forgotten her name, but Gavin Rossdale, Gwen Stefani as well. They were all hanging out, and allegedly there were also a lot of swinging and affairs that were taking place too, and a lot of kids were byproducts of that Primrose Hill set debauchery that was going on in London. And those kids now, like for example Daisy Lowe, is the product of Gavin Rossdale and Lowe, I can't remember her first name, who still lives in Primrose Hill. And Daisy now lives in the country like me. And I've moved out of London as well, which is interesting. But Daisy Lowe is now pregnant. So it's interesting how these cycles take place. I feel like this is going to be relevant for some of you. So you may be in the in crowd, Pile 3, or you may have been in the in crowd, or people see you as someone who's very into being in the in crowd. I feel like a little bit obsessively, but I feel like you have your own thing going on. You have your unique quirks and attraction and beauty as well. And but I feel like it can be deadly, a little bit like poison ivy. I don't feel like you're bad. I don't feel like you're evil, but I feel like this is the persona that you give off, Pile 3, really interesting energies. Yeah, and you end up becoming a legend because of it. Interesting. Bit of a rock star. That's what I'm picking up on, Pile 3. I'm picking up on a rock star, a bit of a go-getter as well. Loves adrenaline junkie, loves to go out, loves to travel, loves to break bread, loves to hang out, loves to eat with your closest friends. And I'm just seeing like the cool set. I wanna be with the cool kids. What's that song? Be with the cool kids, the cool kids, the cool kids. Wanna talk like the cool kids. I wanna be like the cool kids. Wanna dinner the cool kids, the cool kids. Haven't heard that song in a long time. It's not an old song, I just can't remember who it's by. But yeah, I'm seeing that too. You're a cool kid, Pile 3. Okay. You activate change in people here with number 5 too. So your persona is, you can be a bit moody as well, I have to say. You could be water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. A little bit moody sometimes. Little bit moody. So your emotions change a bit, a lot. I'm picking up on your moon sign is a water element. Okay. So the devil inside, who encourages you to take the easy way out, to look for options that lead to instant gratification, instead of putting in the hard work that yields enduring success, is his voice in your head and heart, inspiring you to risk everything for the chance of a quick buck or a monetary thrill. Think twice. If you choose to take a gamble now, you risk losing it all. I feel like you fall in and out of love a lot in romantic relationships. I feel like you confuse love with sex. I do see that. I'm also picking up on heavy, what's his name? The guy from INXS, the main singer. Picking up on him a lot, actually, in this reading. This trickster is the beautiful con man whose sweet words encourage you to believe your own lies and deceptions. Some of you could actually be eating corn on the cob as I'm speaking right now. I just had a taste of corn on the cob with butter for some reason, so I'm picking up on that, Pile 3. But you might also like that. You may also love, that's it, barbecues, because the main singer from INXS was an Aussie from Australia, and so they have like barbecues there a lot, and also in England when the sun's out. So I'm seeing that. Blah 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 blah. Okay, you may also experience migraines. Maybe a shot to the head. Okay, I'm hearing that too. I'm picking up on my heavy rock stars here. Heavy musicians energy here. I do feel like you soar high. Whatever it is that you do in your achievements, your creativity, you soar very high. The tip from Spirit is that your inner voice is telling you to look closer and see beyond selfish desires and blame. So you can perceive the truth. Be honest with yourself, or heartache and disappointment may well follow. Okay, so I'm seeing that. caution against arrogance and pride here as well, pile 3. I feel like it's kind of like an easy read for you, pile 3. I feel like people just see you as someone who loves to gamble, loves fun time, loves to be part of the cool set. It's like people want to be part of your crew, part of your tribe, part of your gang, part of your group of people. Chin up, chicken. 2 of Pentacles. Okay, so we have that for you, pile 3. Of the 2 of Pentacles for you. I do see that you love to, you have a bit of an obsession with your looks and wearing the right clothes. I'm picking up on people that love to wear leather trousers, leather pants, black in particular, lots of black. I'm picking up on a black Porsche or Porsches in particular, fast cars, small 2-seater cars that are fast, or at least that's something you want. But do you have a house, I'm hearing? So I'm picking up on someone that loves, like, you may have a small flat, a small apartment, a studio flat or something like that, studio apartment, but you have fast cars or multiple cars. We have the 6 of Swords. It can be easy to be overwhelmed. Life can be hard. Go easy on yourself. Take it easy on yourself. Take it easy on yourself. Yeah, I'm hearing that. I'm hearing a lot of music in this pile. I haven't really had that much music in pile 1 or pile 2, so you'll be receiving lots of messages, by the way, through music. And how people see you online is a little bit overwhelming. Like, you may wear garish clothing as well. You may like have this weird mix and match of clothes. You may also have like a new romantic era as well, that you love to dress like that. You may have been raised in the 80s. Calvin Harris coming through. Shout out to the 80s, okay? I'm also picking up on heavy b-ballers, basketball players, as well as surfers and snowboarders and skateboarders as well. The new romantics I'm hearing very strongly. The Owl of Overwhelm. So take it easy on yourself. Listen to the music. People see you as a little bit overwhelming, like they don't know how to take you, pile 3, and your persona is like a bit much. So I wouldn't say you bombard with your energy, but when you come into a room, you're like quite bombastic. You're very loud. Some people may see it as obnoxious. Okay, so it's interesting because I lived in Hampstead in London for a tiny bit, and I remember seeing someone who was a TV presenter at this pub, and he was like a little bit loud and bombastic, and I found him really annoying and arrogant. But I think now that I come to how I see it now is actually he was just having a conversation, just like how I saw George, what's his name? Orlando Bloom, near where I lived, where I grew up in Marylebone. And he was just with his mum and he was just talking, but he was just talking loudly in the sense it's not like the English volume. So it's more like the Italian volume or the Latin volume, like, or the Irish volume. I don't know, like the volume that we speak is kind of like medium loud. But in England, it's quite subtle and quite quiet volume. So people perceive your volume as a bit arrogant and bombastic and a little bit annoying, I have to say. And that's how people perceive you. But I think you're a sweetheart. And I actually think that people will recognize in time through their own perspectives and through their own life growth that you're not that. And I feel like you are celebrities. I feel like you, some way or another, you are in the public sphere. You could be a Taurus in particular, strong Taurus energy I'm picking up on. Virgo, Aquarius as well, or Capricorn as well I'm picking up on. Aquarius very strongly here with the rocket ship. With, you know, again, rocket ship, you know, picking up on, I'm hearing satellite of love. Yeah, so it's Lou Reed. So I'm picking up on Lou Reed as well. And Jimi Hendrix. I'm picking up on David Bowie, Jazzy Star. Interesting. Lots of music here. This is my musical rock stars pile, without doubt. No surprise we have 6 and 6 here. We're missing 1 6. We have 66. So again, it's like balance yourself. Like, don't be overwhelmed. Chin up. You know, maybe all of this flaunting and overzealous energy sometimes is maybe compensating or overcompensating for something that you feel like you're lacking. And I feel like people see that about you. Pole 3, and I feel like they want to say, just, you don't have to, you can remove an item of jewelry when you walk out the room. Like, the Parisian way of styling is to, before you walk out of your house or your apartment, is to take one item of jewelry off. So it's about simplicity. They're not saying to be completely simple and not be yourself. Be yourself, but people also want to say to you, if they're too scared to say it, or if they don't want to say it to hurt your feelings or your ego, or bruise your ego even, pole 3, they want to say, like, tone it down a little bit. Tone it down a little bit, pole 3. But, you know, then again, you wouldn't be yourself. You wouldn't be you if you were toning it down a little bit, you know? But that's what I'm seeing. The reading is all about, let me read your persona, your social platform. And this is what I'm seeing for you, pole 3. Make future you proud. So I feel like you have a few regrets, pole 3, about how you conducted yourself in your life or how you did things before. And I feel like now, rather than gambling at life or gambling your life away, pole 3, in one way or another, realistically, metaphorically, spiritually even, I feel like, pole 3, you are actually now going to be attuning to your higher purpose and how your life has meaning and has value. And I feel like that's something that you're looking at and looking into, turning these lessons into wisdom. Now, if this message so far resonates with you, please press the like button, so it makes me know that it resonates with you, and so that I can deliver more messages and videos like this for future readings. And it also helps people see this video, and it helps with the algorithms. So with that being said, continuing on, I feel like there could also be a trip to Peru, and I feel like you could be experiencing an ayahuasca ceremony with a llama here, where I feel like you could be faced with your ego, faced with experiences with the ayahuasca, plant medicine, you know, feminine Aya, who could be teaching you these things. And this is confirmation of something you've already experienced with ayahuasca, or that you will be with this reading and with the ceremony. With number 8, we have this like overwhelming pufferfish. So you will get through this. Deep breaths. And I'm taking a deep breath. We have the 8 of Cups here. The 8 of Cups. So I feel like you're moving away. You could be moving away from people, pole 3. You may be moving away from a certain group. Now, remember, I did talk about the Primrose Hill set. And now a lot of these people have moved on from these places, from these people with whom they used to socialize. I'm also picking up on George Michael as well. He used to live in, he used to live in Highgate, to be honest, and Kate Moss lives in Highgate, still in Highgate too. Yeah, anyway, okay, so I'm seeing that you will get through this. Whatever you're going through right now, you're going to get through this. I feel like there's going to be a release of the ego here, pole 3. You're going through a bit of an emotional and psychic awakening, I feel, pole 3. And I feel like you're starting to ground your energy. Now, I feel like people are going to be seeing you online as toning it down, essentially maturing, pole 3. You know, rock stars, it's always a bit weird seeing old rock stars still doing the same things that they used to do before in their 20s. You know, it's like, come on, you can't be like Rod Stewart, for example. He's helping out in a philanthropic way. You know, he's still like the persona of Rod Stewart, but he's actually, as a human being, he's actually doing a lot of philanthropic work, for example. So I feel like that's what you're doing. I feel like I'm picking up on the older generation here, maybe the age over 40. And so you're learning from your past in your 20s and 30s, or even in your teen years. And you're no longer so ashamed. You may have some regrets, but you don't want to live a life completely full of regrets, pole 3. And I feel like now that shame is actually something you're quite proud of, that you've been able to survive, maybe drug abuse, something like that, or whatever, as a rock and roll person. But you know, when you rock, you also roll. So you're now like in the flow of things as well. You may have reached rock bottom on something, in something, because of an addiction, because of overwhelming emotions that you didn't want to confront. So you just evaded it, you avoided it, you escaped it through some other means that was not healthy and was toxic for you. And I see that you are now proud of yourself because you've surpassed those difficult emotional challenges. And I also see here with the 8 of Cups, the 8 of Hearts here, I see that you're leaving a situation, definitely. You've relocated. And I feel like people are seeing that about you. They're starting to see your wisdom. They're starting to see how you can still be a rock star, but in a spiritual way. Interesting. So you're actually becoming a bit of a positive leader rather than a toxic leader. Pile 3 is what I'm seeing. Let's have a look at the Muse Tarot and see further ways to improve your life. Pile 3, your persona. How to improve your social media platform. Indeed. Pile 3. I did say the Fool, and the Fool is coming out here, which is interesting. The Devil, I mean, look, you can't make it up. Look, let me just show you. Okay, let me just get these cards out. Satellite, satellite of love, of love. So, that was really, really off. But anyway, with Lou Reed, also I'm picking up on New York as well, because he stayed and lived in the in East Harlem on, I can't remember now. I used to live there for a bit. Is it 150th? 150th? 178? I can't remember. But anyway, you may have relocated for work there in New York, because we have the 8 of Wands and the 6 of Swords, which does talk about relocation and moving away and moving on. And we have the Devil energy here. You may have a devil tattoo as well. You may have a trickster tattoo on you, or a cat tattoo here. Here with the devil, and you know, devil inside, devil in. Michael Hutchins, that's it. Michael Hutchins. Every one of us, the devil inside. So you may have done some things that, you know, you may have manipulated energies and done some things that you've been really ashamed of, pile 2. And you're releasing those bondages. You're releasing those pasts. You're releasing even the thought of shame. But I feel like I'm really coaching you here, but I actually really want to focus on your persona and how people see you and your social media platform, please, Spirit. And the ways to improve is to continue moving away from low vibrational energies, to not be tempted by low vibrational energies, to control your desires, rather than letting them control you. I also see another major arcana here with the Sun and the Fool card. I feel like you're going to be more spontaneous online. You're not going to be so, I feel like people are going to see you doing things online that people didn't expect at all. Aries energy here, Leo energy, Capricorn energy here in particular, as well as Taurus, as I was picking up on that very strongly as well. And Leo, as I mentioned before. I see that you are going to be spontaneous, you're going to be thinking outside of the box, you're excited about life, you're going to be moving on, you're going to be moving forward. People are going to be seeing you travel and doing things that are unexpected. Say you are a musician, you're going to be playing music genres that people didn't expect. Say, for example, it was rock and roll, now it's going to be R&B. Say, for example, it's, I don't know, whatever, it's going to be complete opposite or different from what you normally would choose to embody, I'm hearing. Those of you who have tattoos, I see a tattoo removal as well. You may have tattoo removal on your arms or your hands as well. It doesn't have to be, or on your face or your body. I see that you're going to be removing these tattoos as well. There's an alchemical transformation taking place, I'm hearing. I'm also seeing with the 10 of materials, if you really did a lot to sacrifice for success and financial wealth and being rich, essentially, I'm seeing that you're using your money for good. So people are going to be saying that online, that you're, again, doing some sort of Rod Stewart move where you're being a bit more philanthropic, I'm hearing. And with the Sun card, I'm seeing that you've maybe checked yourself into the Priory. You've been doing a lot of healing. You're destined for some great times lying ahead, and happiness and joy. And, you know, you were like fun, happy-go-lucky, but actually now you're not just about fitting into a crowd. I feel like that's something you used to do. You used to fit into the crowd because that's what everyone else did. There may have been a bit of peer pressure there. And your persona is now changing into, actually, I want to shine bright as myself. I want to shine bright like an eagle, I'm hearing. The wings beneath my wings, I'm hearing. So you're actually finding freedom outside of this shackled energy. And I feel like your persona is going to be a bit more spontaneous and Aries energy, a bit more free loving, where you don't just give your power away, where you don't just give your sex away, but it's just like free and lighter. And what you post online is going to be fresher, and maybe in a way that's a bit maverick, that people necessarily, Aquarius energy, didn't necessarily see before. They're going to see you as actually a bit of a maverick, I'm seeing here. And it's going to be fresher, it's going to be cleaner, it's going to be less heavy, less dense what you wear, your styling. You may be employing a stylist as well, or a photographer, that's going to just tone down all of this garb that's surrounding you, that's blocking your true light, I'm hearing. So maybe you were working and operating with a false light, pole 3, with this persona. Now you're reducing your ego to the size of a pea, and you're also just like cleansing as well. Beautiful. Love it. With the Sun card, I'm also seeing sunshine and enjoyment within yourself. You could also be doing yoga. So I'm also picking up on the Primrose Hill set crew was also Amy Winehouse and Russell Brand. You know, I didn't necessarily hang out with them, but I used to hang out in the same environments and clubs in Camden, and I used to see them a lot, you know, and they did do crazy SHIT. But I see, you know, say for example, Russell Brand, like he's been healing a lot. He's been doing a lot of self-healing, and he's actually been finding, once an addict is always an addict, you know, so he's also doing yoga, and he's been helping how to be a leader and how to change and alchemize and accept what he's done, but also change and actually be a better person. And this is what I'm seeing here. It's that energy with the Sun here, with healing and yoga as well in particular. So that's gorgeous. And you are inspiring people because you're actually not being a dickhead. That's what I'm seeing, to be honest with you. To be totally frank, pile 3, you're not being a dickhead. You're not being a douche. You're now listening to words of wisdom and words of advice from people, from your own, I'm just hearing investors, from your agents, your music label agents, whatever it may be, your mentors as well, rather than just blocking your ears and going, la, 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 I don't want to hear it. You're actually listening to their advice, and you may have had a really, really close encounter with death, and you've turned a 360. You've done a wheelie on your life, I'm hearing. Pile 3, that's cool. And I see that you are inspiring people, and as a result, you're actually going to be making money out of it too. You're going to be making money with the Ace of Pentacles out of your vulnerability and how you express yourself about the things that you've gone through. Say, for example, Russell Brand, he talks about this, and he also exposes a lot of truths that are behind the scenes in our governments as well. And, you know, you end up having a platform, another platform. So maybe this is you going into another platform, where you're able to freely express yourself about the things that you did or had experienced, with no filters. as well, I'm seeing. And I see that there is great inspiration here. You know, we have the muse of inspiration, so we have the muse of emotions, and you're really, because you're more in touch with your emotions now, pole 3, and you're not just hiding it away and just drinking it away as well. I see that you are actually more vulnerable, and I see that you are more grounded because you're exposing and you're opening up your vulnerability to the world. And I think this is going to be a far rocket to success, I'm hearing, and you're going to be breaking bread with actually like disciples around you, the 12 disciples, people that you trust. So you end up becoming a leader. You actually may also be recognizing the devil inside you and converting that shadow into true light consciousness, which is the Christ. I don't know if you realize this or you know about this, but this is called the like Christification, like you're Christifying, let's say. So you are actually becoming a savior within yourself because you're realizing the shadow and turning that into light. Remember, the light shone in darkness, and the darkness comprehendeth it not. And so when you shine your light into these dark arenas, into talking about dark things that happen in our world on your platform, you actually end up shining light on that, and the darkness wants to escape from it. So more and more light that you shine, and you shine bright into the world, and that you talk about these things, about hidden things, about conspiracies even. You're going to be attracting a lot of attention, and you're going to be also attracting people that are going to say that you are this or that you are just a nasty piece of work, because you used to also do that too. But actually you're doing a lot of exposing of dark practices and dark things that are continue to take place, and you're bringing light to the matter. And this action is you healing your own karma, healing your own pains and shames, and rather than having an ego and wanting to attract attention just because you feel like attracting attention because you have an unhealed wound, your wound is now healed, and you're no longer actually really operating from your persona. You're operating from an inside soulful self, rather than a soulless self and an ego-full self, if that makes sense, pole 3. So pole 3, let's have a look at the Great Minds Don't Think Alike by Emily Gosling and see which muse is calling your attention. Patti Smith. No surprise here. No surprise. Patti Smith, love her. Rock star legend. Patti Smith has a wonderful tale about how a song once arrived in her mind, fully formed. She was standing alone in her living room when suddenly she had a vision of the Grateful Dead's Jerry Garcia smiling at her. And then this little song, poof, came, she says. She called the resulting song Grateful, as I felt Jerry had given it to me. Smith underscores the importance of keeping your mind and spirit open to such abstract bursts of creativity in what she describes as a channeling or shamanistic ability. But despite these fortuitous moments of inspiration, Smith admits that writing is very rarely this easy. It's a task that requires being taken seriously. Okay? In essence, she works hard to ensure her focus is sharp enough and her mind open enough to perceive the messages that come from intangible places. Whether that's channeling the spirit of dead poets like her beloved Rimbaud, invoking esoteric forces, or being receptive to signals from the unconscious in a way that's constructive to her art. Dreams, reminiscences, images, emotions, literary fragments, and political commentaries all intermingle in Smith's writing, discovered through openness and diligence, assembled through a process that lets them fall into place naturally, and then carefully whittled into their formal or their final forms. In her words, most often the alchemy that produces a poem or work of fiction is hidden in the work itself, if not embedded in the coil and reaches of the mind. I'm also hearing this tune. Dun 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 dun. That's Moloko. Da na 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 na. In your arms I feel sunshine. And we have the sun. I only wake until the morning. The time is now. Ba, ba, ba. You rather wake until the morning. Let's make this moment last. Yeah, so there's something here where make this moment last, you know. There's also this energy with Patti Smith here where you could be invoking, you know, muses yourself, like Rimbaud. You could be writing poetry as well, writing songs, lyrics, and also publishing books as well. Pile 3, this is a beautiful reading, really completely different from pile 1, pile 2, which is amazing, which means that I've really attuned to your energies. Please let me know that you've resonated with this video, this message, this pile, by pressing the like button below, by sharing this video far and wide as well. I really do appreciate it, and also helps other people tune into the videos, because the algorithms basically lets other people know that Abstract Medicine 888, Abstract Medicine exists, and people are able to see the video, people are able to see the channel Abstract Medicine 888 on YouTube. Best of luck with your endeavours. Please let me know how this works out for you. Please do subscribe to the channel as well, and wishing you all the best. Please check pile 1 and pile 2 as well if you feel called to, or book a reading with me. Thank you so much. Take care. God bless. Bye for now.